We're live. Welcome to the Board of Assessors meeting of June 10th, 2024. That's the Lunenburg Board of Assessors. In accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast live over the Lunenburg Public Access channel and on Facebook Live on the Public Access Facebook page. https://www.facebook.com/lunenburg-public-access-cable-157-427-270-975-305/. The recording can be found at the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. This meeting will be held in person at this location, which is the lower level of the Ritter Building. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting will not be suspended nor terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with particular interest in any specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. Unfortunately, we cannot seem to get the Zoom up and running, so I'm not going to read all the Zoom information. The agenda lists all topics which may be discussed at the meeting and are those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by open meeting law. Call to order. I'd like each person to introduce themselves.
Sarah Kammer.
John Rabbit.
Brian LaFond.
Linda McQuaid. Brina Squeezy.
Thank you. Opening comments from the board. Are there comments from the board?
None.
I have one. It came to my attention that when we are in executive session and someone recuses themselves, we should excuse them from the room. So for future reference, we have not done that in the past. We will do that in the future.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, because you make the determination to recuse yourself, I believe it still allows you to argue and make points.
Nope.
No, it does not.
Nope.
You have a legal,
Yep.
because we've been doing that for a while.
This happens to be, I looked that up
In Nantucket.
several towns, but this one happened to be from Nantucket. It's just
Okay.
clear as pursuant to Robert's Rules of Order in the state. I will read the whole thing so we aren't confused. State conflict of interest law. Committee members who recuse themselves from a particular agenda item must not participate in that matter in their official capacity in any matter whatsoever. One option is to simply not attend the meeting until that portion where they have the conflict is addressed, or leave the meeting before that portion is addressed. Chairs can assist on planning agendas for these purposes. This wouldn't have worked. We would have had to do it separately before that portion is addressed, about potential conflicts. A second option is for a committee member to attend a meeting but announce their recusal, and if they wish, the reason for it, prior to the action for the matter in which they have a conflict, and leave the table during that portion of the discussion. The Ethics Commission recommends further that an individual who has recused themselves from a particular meeting actually leave the room. This is not legally required. However, be further aware that if an individual who has recused themselves stays in the room during the discussion, their presence at and their right to comment on the work of the committee is the same as any other member of the public attended meeting. A recused committee member cannot be treated in a special manner by any other members of the committee and may not seek special treatment because they are a committee member and may not use their position to otherwise participate in the matter if members of the public are not similarly allowed to participate. In short, a committee member who is required to recuse themselves because of a financial interest in particular may not participate as a committee member at the meeting and continue to comment about the matter from which they are recused.
They may continue to comment, they may not, I'm sorry.
Well, I don't even care what the wording is. I'm going to read this as, you'll be out of the room if you're recused. I'll be out of the room if I'm recused. That's it. Because otherwise, there's too much opportunity for influence.
Mr. Chairman, as a member of the community, you always have the right to voice your opinion.
Not in an executive, yes, go
No,
ahead.
but when you go, I agree
But
with you.
when you're in
you go into
executive session,
So,
this was more specifically around executive session. If you want to
Okay.
recuse yourself in a public session, then we could certainly.
okay,
You certainly may stay in the room because the public may stay in the room. But if it's executive session, I will request that whomever is recused, including me,
mhm,
leaves.
yeah. And what if a deferral, I defer to vote,
You can always abstain.
Abstain.
abstain?
It's not a defer. You
Okay,
can't defer your
abstain.
vote.
What's
But
that?
you can abstain,
Abstain.
abstentions.
Okay,
So that's, but I wasn't addressing that.
all right, so I could, rather than abstain, I could have just, I mean, rather than recuse myself, I could abstain.
Recusal is usually used if there's financial or personal interest in a matter. You recused yourself, I don't know why, it doesn't matter why. If it was
Yeah.
for financial, then you certainly
Right.
should not be here even at all, or I should not be here. I'm not just saying you,
No,
I'm just
I
saying
understand.
all
In
of
general.
us
Yeah.
should not be here for that. You can, you have a financial interest, you want to stay employed?
So it's just a lot easier to write vote no on everything. You want to make your
Well,
argument,
no,
just
you
vote
can, you
no,
can
that's
say,
all.
you can abstain, or you can vote no. You can vote things down. So I just wanted to be clear that we had that situation last time,
Yes.
and I handled it wrong.
I
So I'll
don't,
fix it right next time.
I don't, we perceive it wrong, but I'll go along with the argument.
Would
We,
you like the Karen custody
we,
news for now?
We also received a message from someone that we reviewed last week during executive session, and I'm wondering if anybody had any conversations with that individual after the
Yes.
meeting? You
Yes,
did?
one called
So,
and was,
So should we talk?
we don't have to talk about we don't have to talk about the individual, we're gonna talk about the call. Go ahead.
Okay, the executive session. And they were concerned, can we do that, can we do this executive session?
We don't need to talk about the location.
We don't.
Nope.
Okay, the concern was that this person used a comparison for another
Yep.
home.
Got that?
And the concern was that they would be, and not so much that they would be found out, was that it was not good for interpersonal relationships in the neighborhood. And I assured that person that it was done in totally secure, and that we don't share that information with anybody, and therefore they're okay.
So,
And if you want me to continue the rest of the conversation?
go ahead.
Okay. And so anyway, I said, look, I don't know all the facts with regard to your neighborhood and your topography. And then the discussion about essentially the topography again. That caused me to go back and look at that. And that's why I sent you the note, in that I noticed that the house was not located on the property. Yes,
I'm not familiar with that note. Is there a note?
I sent just an email. Sent
To-
you-
Send that
To whom?
To you, I
Did you
believe.
send it today?
Yesterday?
Sunday?
Yesterday? Was it Sunday? May have been. I don't
Maybe
know.
not, but I did get the email from the person who
Right.
copied all of us, and the situation was to be consistent.
Right.
I explained that the site injustice would be.
And
So-
she called me after she spoke to you. She thought you were very, very nice to her, very polite, but she still was kind of concerned about, number one, the first issue, the neighbor, and number two, why, how does that work? Because she still believes. And ultimately I said, look, your answer is go to the ATB and plead your cause. That's what we tell people.
So, I'm not as concerned about the result of the deliberation. I'm more concerned about the communication that occurred during our deliberations that was then shared outside of here illegally. The deliberations are not for public comment, are not for public consumption.
Right?
So that call should have been deflected somehow, but it's not appropriate for anybody in this room to be sharing any information that we deliberate on. Merely the final conclusion. Since the conclusion on the other piece of property had nothing to do with this individual. It needed not to be shared, and in fact, should not have been shared. So we need to be careful when communicating stuff that happened in executive session to the public, even if it affects the individual property on which we were deliberating.
Yeah, I don't know where, Mr. Chairman, I'm not sure where this information came from with regard to the comparison. I
Well,
did not bring that up, and I basically said, I don't know all the details, be assured that whatever was said stays in confidence, and your alternative is the ATV.
So when were these communications? Because she sent us a note on Thursday.
This was this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday.
We sent the denial last week.
The denial went out.
Yeah, the denial went out, right.
Yeah, she received it.
So must have been a response to the denial, because the email was
Yeah.
a response to.
Yeah, she mentioned that, yeah, that she was pretty upset.
Yeah.
So,
The applicant, if you use the applicant, then we don't even know the sex of the person.
okay, that's correct. That would be correct.
We can, I have some pictures and we can go through that in the executive session.
We
Yeah, if you
reviewed
want.
it last week. We don't really need to review it again this week unless there's something new. So anyway, so there are really two issues there, I guess. One is when we recuse, we're out of the room. Anything that's said during executive session, essentially. Anything that's said during executive
Yes.
session can't be
I
shared
just
outside the
did not
room.
comment on it.
I'm just trying to be clear. That's what the point of executive session and deliberations is for. Thank you.
Now, a question, Mr. Chairman.
Yep.
If this individual approaches, well, the assessor with specific questions, are you, to what degree are you able to, as a person to another person, kind of respond to
I-
it?
I would suggest that if they have a specific issue and they're asking about specifics, that you encourage them to make an appointment to see if they can get in the front of an executive session.
Okay,
Because then we, as a board, can respond. And, yes.
I like that.
They got their response, which happened to be a denial. Anything beyond that was not. Yeah. So I think that's a great idea. If someone has a question and they want to spend some time in executive session with us, we're happy. Not happy.
No, that's a good policy.
But we'd be happy with the spending that time with them, to use our time that way. Because I think that's a good way to use our time, reaching out to people in the community.
I found it really hard not to respond, but I was hoping we
I
would talk about it in
was-
executive session.
We can, but I want to talk about the concept first. We can talk about it more in executive session if we want to.
Yeah.
Feel free. So that was it. That was all my public comment. Okay. Great. Status report from the principal assessor, and one of the things you're going to cover today is the thing you just handed out, so.
Yep. We have 3 abatements left that have not.
That aren't here today.
Yes, and 2 of them are going to be inspected the week of the
The 20th and the 24th.
And one of them, the applicant did not put their phone number on it, so I left a door hanger last week, and we're waiting for a response, so we can schedule the appointment. So we've completed everything else other than getting the review on those and the remaining 3 inspections.
So if we don't hear back from the applicant who didn't give us a phone number, by when? Do we say that's denied by incomplete
You could-
application?
You can just let it stand and let it go 3 months and be deemed denied. You could give him the whole time to respond, and then it just is, if it's not by, in the spreadsheet.
Yep.
I did up, I have a date when they have to, they have till,
July 7th, 16th.
yeah, something like that, and
Yeah,
just.
they had till May 16th to apply. Oh, wait a minute, so they have 3 months
Well,
after the
3 months,
application,
right.
so it's actually August 16th. Okay,
Then
and that, at that point, it's deemed denied, we
it's
don't have to take
deemed
any
denied,
action.
You don't take any action
Okay,
on it.
thank you. Actually, I sort of knew that, but didn't think about it.
Can we use the internet to look up the person by their name and find their phone number?
We
You could
can,
do
we can
that.
actively do some investigation, because we already
Yeah.
went to the site, left a hanger.
I just know that
You
drawer
know,
hangers, I mean, it is their mistake for not putting their phone number on, but
Oh, you haven't seen these new fancy door hangers.
Oh,
I was sure
You
they're
should have
excellent.
brought them with
But
you.
you know how people get home, they've got all their stuff in their hands, they grab the hanger, who knows where they put it afterwards.
We could mail a letter too.
That never happens in my house.
Yeah. We could send a note.
So, the action, I guess, is for you guys to figure out whether you want to do a letter and/or further investigation on the internet to find the person.
Should we send a letter certified too? I don't
We
know.
could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I want to use up some of those stamps.
But they last
Just a lot of
forever.
stamps in there.
We have the forever
Forever
stamps.
stamps.
We have tons and tons of forever stamps. And since they're going up, they're
Guard
more
against
valuable.
inflation.
It's true.
Yep.
So, we're actively working on completing the new construction as far as from getting them into vision and doing the inspections on that because FY 2025 is around the corner. And we're starting to think about growth, which is my next subject for the LA 19. I put together a little handout because it is a little confusing, but the chair had asked that I explain it during the meeting. So
We had gotten a question, you were all, I think,
Yeah.
copied on the question from the town manager. And I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page, so thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no. So the equalized value was requested and Heather requested that I verify that this data is accurate. And I just wanted to explain a couple things about this. So the equalized value, just a definition, is produced by law every 2 years. And it has been used as a variable in distributing some state aid accounts and for determining county assessments and other costs. There's a definition on the next page, with a little more information on that. And in just going through it, just so that you know where the numbers are coming from. So we have our classes, residential, open space, commercial, industrial, personal property, and our total real personal property. These actually come from the LA4, which is the third page. So I just wanted to explain where those came from. And the assessment ratio, which is the third
Just to
column.
interrupt there.
Yeah.
So you can recognize at the bottom of the LA4, this is the thing we signed back in March. So
Yes.
just to put things in context, sorry. Go ahead.
And the numbers, the totals on the bottom actually match the classes in the assessed value column. So you'll notice that, and I highlighted
Yep.
those amounts. So then on this LA 19, the assessment ratio is the 0.95. And what that is the assessment to sales ratio, and that came from our LA 3, which we submitted, that was probably back October. So that actually comes from our department and comes from our sales. So it has been determined that based on that information, we have a 0.95 assessment ratio, sales to assessment, excuse me. And as you look at that, you'll notice that the personal property is a 1, so that's the only other one that differs. And personal property is always 100% by law. So that doesn't change. The other thing is the estimated growth, which is 0.76%.
Estimated growth in terms of the prior year.
What they do with that is they actually take the last 4 years, and on page 4, I included our growth, which is
It's written at the bottom. One more.
it's highlighted at the bottom.
Oh,
And then I handwrote
This one.
the years for the fiscal years 21 through 24, and it kind of shows what our growth is. And as you can see, it's kind of up and down. Last year it was very high because we had a revaluation year. The year before was much less, 22.
We also think part of that may be the fact that we didn't capture all the new build in 2023.
Yeah.
So if you took the 2 years together, that's more what it normally would have been.
Right, and they try to actually take the 4 years, analyze the numbers, and then derive a number for an estimate for growth, which is based on the 17 million. And based on that, I have actually started working on the growth, the very last sheet. Right now, just based on residential and commercial, I'm at 9,654,300. This is just a breakdown. I was not able to get the personal property growth amounts just because they haven't finished calculating them yet. So it's a little bit premature, but I think based on the 17 million, it's certainly on that 9 for residential, and I'm not even finished with internal permits.
So I completely follow what you've done here, but I don't understand the point.
Oh,
Like the bigger picture
oh,
of
We-
what they're trying to get at and why.
okay.
Sorry.
This is actually for
What?
state aid. It's for the state.
Yeah.
And
That
this,
explains it all.
I just like explain it to me like I have absolutely no background in equalized
Okay.
value.
so that's why I put it, I found it confusing, and I had to speak with Jim Paquette
Okay.
from the Department of Revenue. But this was actually, this is to be verified, and what he told me today was, if you don't think that you're gonna meet that estimated growth, you need to let me know in the next couple of days. So this is something that the town gets reimbursed, and they get aid based on these numbers.
So they have to do this to be able to figure out where each community is at for for state aid.
Yeah,
And what does equalizing the value do that makes it more clear to the state?
they take our numbers and our sales to assessment ratio, and what they do is they actually look at the estimated full value, and they base the aid based on that. So that's basically what they do.
So some communities might have their values higher
Yeah,
than they should be or lower than they should be, and this is trying to put everybody in the same playing field.
exactly, and
Okay.
they do adjust
Very
the
good, 'cause-
estimated full value to bring that up to 100% to kind of get it consistent, so this is something that
And a lot of communities that, kind of a wealthier community, they don't get as much state aid, based on these ratios. So if their sales to assessment ratio is quite high and they're up there on those valuations and those sales, they don't get as much state. That was a big problem when I was in Groton. We never got very much state aid because we were a too affluent community, as the state claimed.
Isn't that why we had our aid cut in the middle of the year last year? Because we were paying too much?
No,
No?
that was a different issue. I think with smart growth, we didn't have as many students enrolled.
Yeah,
Oh,
we had
okay.
That was, right.
to do it.
Did anybody see the Globe on Sunday with regard to the valuation increase of the last 5 years by the regions of the state? We're up there. Lunenburg was actually mentioned, and I believe we're at 83–85% overall growth in value in the last 5 years. It's a good investment. Don't try and buy here, but
So, there seems to be a lot of pressure countrywide on the increased property values and the increased taxes that are resulting from them. And I read an article today from some guy in Montana that wants to put together some kind of a moratorium on property taxes. Well, probably not going to happen, but there's a lot of pushback on property values and taxes, property taxes. Having said that, the total tax burden in Massachusetts, we also used to be known as Taxachusetts, we are 20th out of 50 states
right.
as far as total tax burden. So anybody out there who thinks that we are Taxachusetts probably ought to rethink it. Having said that, doesn't make it any less painful.
Yeah.
So,
There is one thing I did want to mention that I didn't mention to you before. So that last column, the estimated full value, what happens with that is that's the amount of the assessed value divided by the 0.995% assessment ratio. That's in that column. So that's where that number comes from. So if you take the assessed value and divide it by the assessment ratio, that's your estimated full value.
2.3 billion.
Just to make it clear.
That's mud.
Clear as mud, yes, absolutely. And for those of you who can't see it, it's still clear as mud. And you're welcome to stop in the office, and we'll give you this stuff. Good luck. Thank you, that actually
Does that
helps.
explain it?
Well, it helps a lot. It's
Just
not,
understand
not perfect, but
Yeah.
I think explaining what the state requires and how they go about getting it and is a full-time job.
And how
So
our-
thank you. Thank you. Anything else on your report that you want to report?
Nothing else.
Motor vehicle, nothing else going on that you guys are not busy?
We were talking about the great seminar we went to. the
Oh,
other day.
yes, we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
tell them about that. I forgot about that.
You guys met with,
Jim Crowley.
Oh.
this is
The guru. of
The
money.
Jim Crowley.
the Jim Crowley, an attorney who works for the state and remembers everything he's ever done.
That's impressive.
Including lunches that went back to the early 90s.
But if you have a question on exemptions or abatements, how they're done, he's the person to ask. So, what did you guys learn?
Well, he actually gave a very good handout on all the exemptions. And, well, we just found them in her car, so we'll make copies. From the ride back the other
We'll make
day.
up. It was very informative.
Yeah, and he went through, he went through every exemption and what has to be adopted, like clause 18, it's not a home rule petition, so the town doesn't have to adopt it. And he just went through, and he answered a lot of questions. People had a lot of questions about, when a veteran that died in September, his wife wanted to get his full exemption because he died from Agent Orange, which, was one of the full abatement things. And he just, we live and die by July 1st, that's the date. Live and die by July 1st.
If you haven't done July 1st, then, okay.
He was great though, he just went through, the handout he had was great, and it was, he asked, he'd ask questions and he'd give you the answer.
Very
He had a little
entertaining.
quiz,
too.
yeah,
He's a character.
yeah.
Does he have a video for the video at all?
Does he what?
Is there gonna be a video of this presentation at all available?
No.
No?
Totally.
So this isn't the same person as the Munis.
Oh,
No,
That's sorry. Thanks.
this was like when we had,
Yeah, the other guy.
2 months ago, we contacted or tried to contact
Trying to
the lawyer
figure
for
out
the day, and then he called us back
Yeah,
after that.
We were trying to figure out the history.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, okay, thank you.
yep.
great
Got me.
resource.
So you'll be providing us with
fantastic.
copies of those handouts at
Sure.
some point in the future.
We got the
Fabulous. Fabulous. Do we want to talk about Munis at all?
Well,
Well, we have people coming in and
we
stuff.
do. I actually was able to contact Randy Mercier, who is a consultant and works with several towns. I think he mentioned 20 towns that he works with. He's coming on the 17th to assist the town with the billing issues. I guess Munis is lined up for Friday, and personally, I wouldn't feel confident with dealing with Munis. We've had nothing but problems. It was down today, and so.
It's been down every day,
So he did.
several times too.
Did you lose phones today too?
We did.
Yes.
We did.
Okay, that's why I got cut
We
off.
lost the internet,
Yeah.
we lost Munis, we lost the phones. But Munis has been horrendous.
Hopefully, we're going with the lowest bidder every time.
Every
Yeah,
time.
explains the
And the
delay in
worst,
the
and the
email.
worst software
Yes,
we
it
can
does.
find, the cheapest.
I wondered what that
And,
was.
he is only gonna charge, I thought his amount was reasonable, $14.75 for the day. And he'll take it from start to finish. He did request that we have the Y2K files ready, my Vision of Patriot, LA4, our personal property file, a tax summary report, which we get from RRC, 3 new deeds so we can look at the ownership. And then for the accounting, he wants the GL accounts should be created for 2025 and the new journal number for 2025. And he comes in.
So he is or is not going to be addressing the erroneous FY '24 bills?
I don't think
Is-
I don't think he's gonna be actually working on the preliminary bills.
So it sounds like he's rebuilding the whole system.
So,
No, he's just assisting with the whole billing process, because there's been so many issues with Munis and what happened last year with the actual bills.
Sorry, because Y2K files, that was like 24 years ago.
it's just what they call it.
That's just what they call it, it's just a term.
Okay.
Maybe I should have,
we should probably
yeah.
get an explanation about what Y2K is.
Well, I took it from the email, but
Okay.
essentially what he does want is our camera file.
Okay.
So he wants our
It's
camera file.
not year 2000.
Oh,
Yeah,
Y2K.
this is what they call it. I don't know
Yeah.
why they
Instead
still
of
call it
camera
that.
file.
They should call it
Okay.
camera file, but
Well, they actually have a couple of different names, but most communities use the Y2K file.
Makes no sense, but thank you.
yeah,
It isn't for that, it's for something else.
yeah. So he's gonna actually assist with that. I guess he has a lot of experience with Munis
Okay.
And
he's-
vision.
and Vision also. And he
So-
said, no one knows Munis like he does.
So my
But we
cons-
still don't have a printout of the new file.
We haven't done any of the billing process yet. We do have the camera file from Vision, which we're gonna get another copy because we've made changes to the database and Maria's put deeds in, so we just want the
To be
data
updated.
from it.
So who's addressing the erroneous 2024 bills where the exemptions were put into the wrong, were put in twice, once in the wrong place?
That was supposed to be the tax collector that was handling that, so.
Do we know if that's fixed? Is there any way to know?
We haven't heard anything.
When that guy gets here, we need to grab him for 10 minutes and have him look at that and figure out why it's wrong. Because it needs to be fixed. We need to get the new bills out, corrected bills out for those people.
And I don't know why it didn't work for the file last year, because in prior years, nothing had changed.
So
The
those
vision
are new-
file was the same exemptions.
Yeah.
New version of
problem.
Munis, and something
Yeah.
happened, I think. Something got loaded, but he may be able to tell us quickly.
Yeah. She did mention at one point that
She?
the tax collector, I'm sorry,
Okay.
that it's appearing in Vision, and it was also entered into Munis, and she didn't know if because it's appearing in Vision, and it's also in Munis, that might be. the
It read a
reason.
double head.
So she said, you probably need to take that out of Vision, but
No.
we can check on that.
We can just not load it from Vision if that's what they want.
Yeah.
But that needs to be fixed because it has to be fixed before the new bills go out on July 1st.
And have we determined who's responsible for sending the bills?
Well, we have determined that it is the tax collector, even though it seems to be being pushed to the assessors.
It's been
Has-
ruled
has,
that
Was it-
by Heather?
Well,
No.
no.
The question was who's going to send them, though?
Oh, they have a bill print company that will
Yeah.
send
Right.
them. Yeah.
Right, but yes. We haven't gotten, I think,
We haven't gotten that resolution yet.
formal resolution on who does all the work to prepare the bills.
And we did speak with several assessors at the meeting
At the
that
meeting we went to.
Who,
Did you find any?
they said, yeah, no, it's, you need to have a checks and balances.
Right.
So it would almost be a conflict for the assessor to be
That's
Mhm.
correct.
Doing the assessments and then,
the
Doing the
bills.
billing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we said that last week. meeting.
So,
We are consistent.
I found a document.
yeah. Yes, thank you for saying that, and I did also put that in an email to the finance director, to Heather, the town manager, and also to the tax collector. There does need to be a checks and balances.
Yeah,
Yep.
And there needs to be an executive leader resolution of this.
It does. It definitely does.
are you saying it needs to go to the selectmen, you think?
Well,
No. Well,
Town manager, but if there's no movement, Brian will
we
gladly
haven't,
go in.
we don't have any movement.
That hurts.
I will, again, attempt to spend some time talking to the town manager to get a resolution on that. Didn't resolve last time. Okay, thank you. Review and approve minutes of June 3rd. I did some modifications and sent them over to you guys. Did you find anything that needed to be fixed?
I did not find anything that needed to be fixed.
Perfect.
I'm gonna go with whatever Sarah said. Yeah.
Then I'll
Checks
What
and
she
balances.
said.
entertain a motion to accept the minutes as modified.
I motion to accept the June 3rd minutes as modified.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good, I can send this one off. We are current.
That's all.
We were, well, for so long, we were, 8, 10, 12 meetings
I
behind and
know, that was not
trying to
good.
catch up and then trying to find the minutes for meetings that had occurred before we were even
We
here.
had a lot of things.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
fun. I enjoyed that a
I'm
lot.
glad that moment is past us.
And if I could compliment the person that's keeping the minutes, they're doing a really good job overall, in comparison to past experiences where there was a page and it was hard to decipher. This is well done. I think they did a good job.
Danielle, you get kudos. Thank you. We have some executive session minutes to approve,
Do you want,
review and approve.
do you want to give them to?
Yeah.
I haven't seen this.
I've been through.
I made
You've
some
been through
changes.
two. Did you do this one already?
Yeah.
We
Mine's-
won't read them
mine's
out loud.
black.
Remind me to do the minutes in the morning and not at 3:15 in the afternoon.
Yep.
During paragraph number 2, there was a discussion about the individual with the property, but there was also a motion, not necessarily a motion, but a policy with regard to patios and condos. There was a discussion on that.
Oh, we did talk about, it doesn't have to be here,
Okay.
but we can establish a policy on patios.
Yeah, I have it as a list of one of the things we want
Yep.
to do, but not
Yeah,
tonight.
but I don't think it doesn't need to be in these minutes, but I think we can address
Okay.
that.
Let me finish, I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's okay.
We're not hooking up to here, I don't know what. the
It's
issue
still
is.
spinning around.
So we're gonna just shut it down, because I don't think it's gonna come on.
Thank you.
I'm going to accept.
As amended,
Yeah.
the minutes for June 3rd. He moved to accept these minutes as amended.
Okay, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
So Rena, there's a few
Yeah.
modifications, but you'll get it.
Here, a few.
And then this one's May 20th,
No, okay, I'm sorry.
you leaving?
No, I just had to stand up.
Oh,
These chairs are.
he's recusing himself from the rest of the meeting.
I have to try that sometime.
I was just gonna say that.
It's late, I recuse myself.
It's late. Recuse me, recuse me.
Can we get a receipt for the meeting we went to last week? I was gonna submit that for the reimbursement. Did they give us a receipt? Yes.
Did she say she was gonna mail something?
While,
I don't remember if she.
while Mr. Rabbit is reviewing that, do we have any invoices, vouchers, payroll, billing stuff to do today? Oh, we do, okay, I thought maybe we managed to
thought I
avoid
forgot
that.
again?
I thought maybe we managed to avoid that,
I move we accept. The minutes as amended.
of May
What's
3rd,
the
of May
extra
20th.
copies? I know I
Executive session on May 20th?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Rabbit said aye, we all said aye.
I knew I made extra copies.
You found them? Well, we don't need them now. Thank you. You can just send them to us electronically. You know.
Well, if it wasn't so late in the afternoon.
I'll take it extra one.
Oh,
No, we
Well,
there's two different
This-
can't. I know
meetings.
you're making a change to it.
There's
Right.
two different meetings too.
thank you. So, let's sign stuff.
All right, let's start with it. Oh, this is your,
Oh.
for the summer conference.
This is my voice for the summer conference, the last of June that I'm gonna attend.
This is a several day event.
It's a 4-day event
It's being held where?
in Plymouth.
Nice.
Yeah.
You staying over?
I am, but I'm not gonna stay in the hotel, so there won't be any expense to the town. just
Okay.
for the conference.
Yeah, if you're not
Yeah.
in consistent with industry practices, if you stay with a friend or something, you're allowed to take them out to dinner with them in exchange. And usually it's a good deal for the company, no matter what.
But I don't know what the town policy is.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
So-
don't know either.
So don't throw that one out there because we don't know.
Yeah.
No,
Check with
I'm actually
HR.
staying with a family member, my parents, and I'll just commute for
Yeah.
half an hour, 35 minutes.
So we can just sign this?
Yeah.
Do we need to date it? Do you know need all three signatures?
Okay.
It's 6:10?
Yes.
I think the hotel is like 190 a night, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Spend that, yeah,
It's a lot.
Basically doubles up our,
yeah. So, rather not do that.
thank you for doing that.
I always do that.
It's your parents.
And I don't want to spend the tax money because I just think that's a lot.
Is this the same one?
Is this down the Cape, is that where it is?
Yes. Yeah.
It's actually Plymouth.
Plymouth? Yeah.
Oh, maybe I have a copy from before.
It's $250 a night, no matter what.
She said 190, she'd get 190,
190.
but
They call it block.
she doesn't go to nice hotels like you do.
That's,
Oh, you're gonna have two. Can you bring 2 people?
Can you? I
No,
don't
no,
know.
no, I just do.
Oh.
I'm staying now. I bring my
You
camera.
haven't even met her parents
Yeah,
yet.
I know.
That's mighty bold of him.
I don't know if Vision, is it Vision? I think Vision is running the dinner on Wednesday night. It's a nice networking event.
It is, it sounds like a good group.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
active
is.
group.
Oh, we can stop bleeding.
Maybe.
they're coming back and,
So this is just the final
doing-
payment, it says?
yeah, but they're coming back to do the interim.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping they'll come in and they'll work with me. I always like to work with them if he has time to do that. That would be great.
That's the door hangers.
We actually got a discount. I got a discount off of the door hangers because they
I didn't.
It's okay.
printed, they put a laminate on them
Oh.
and we need to write on them.
You
So.
need a Sharpie.
Pen doesn't write very
Yeah, you can
well.
only write with a Sharpie. So I called and we just got another box of them today, so we've got 1 box of laminates and 1 box without.
And she's gonna offer a Sharpie.
Oh. So we got, they took the discount plus they sent us another box free of charge with the correct cardstock.
So we got
wanted.
500 of them
Yeah, for
for
the price of,
$172.
And you get
We
a
should
supplier
last a while.
Sharpies,
yeah,
yeah?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless we get a lot of abatement requests.
Pass this back
Oh,
to.
this is all set.
And these are all motor vehicle excise abatements. And there's several copies, because one has to go to the town accountant, one has to go to the tax collect, not the town accountant, yeah, the town accountant, the
There's
finance
just so
director.
many of these all the time.
Yeah, I know, there's that one.
You can tell we're busy.
Can you
One goes in our.
not give them copies? You have to give them originals with signatures?
Yeah. Good.
That's right, you have to sign so many times, huh?
We have to do
It's
that.
kind of silly.
No, those are
Those
abatements,
need to be
right,
signed.
right.
We just have to
I
make
know.
them aware of it.
We need to sign every single.
And it's for, only for, how much?
That one have a signature on it.
I put it through this.
Oh, you did, you did good. Looked like you printed.
Not much.
So are we having anybody come in for the abatement? The abatements we're signing?
Tonight?
Yeah.
Not that I know of.
No, they bring all the paperwork in, we abate them if they got rid of their car in February.
Oh, is it cars?
Yeah,
Oh,
this is
okay.
all.
They don't need to see us.
From,
Right.
from.
They say Linda and I, that's all that matters.
To them. Is that why your hair looks so nice?
And these are real estate abatements that were, been processed, that you guys voted on the last time, those were all approved. So we managed to get the first group in.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna do the
Nice job.
second group tomorrow.
Nice job.
Nice. Well, then I won't come and bother you.
No, you can.
No, I don't want to bother you. Oh, work done. I don't want to be bothering you.
Those motor vehicles?
Oh, yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so this is
Those should
Okay.
be.
a tiny one. I think that's the.
Oh, that was our
This is the
first effort, there's only one on there.
Making
First
sure
try?
we're-
Our first try.
When it's working, when it's not down.
Yeah, when it's not down.
Oh,
Do we
this
need to
is
date
still,
this? 6, yeah.
Those are all, we have to have 3 copies.
This one's still a motor vehicle one.
Oh, there's another motor vehicle.
There's another motor vehicle one that's in here.
Another, oh, it's just another copy of the same.
Because they wanted that.
Oh, yeah,
So we'll have to group those together then.
the $28 one with
With,
the $18,000 one.
yeah. Actually, that's not really that bad.
No. Not considering 1 point.
That many cars.
What was the last rate?
1.5
Oh.
million.
Yeah.
The number of cars that are bought and sold in this community
It's amazing.
drive me crazy. Because they're always doing it. Every time I stop in the office, there's somebody's done it. I sold my car.
Can you explain this one a little to me? Because it's a new thing, sheet for me. It says there's a debit of 18,694.82, and then a credit. And then, but this is the end of the report.
We should have the 18,000 total. That prints from Eunice.
And
That was
then,
all the real estate.
oh, I was looking on the.
Did I put the lines on the wrong card?
Probably stapled in the wrong place.
Hmm.
Which page 1?
This is page 1 of the, well, this lists the reference number in the catalog with the bill number and the person,
Who it's been abated.
yeah, and the date. And then it shows interest, and then on the next page,
Is there a total on that page? There was one.
not yet, but it shows the amount of the abatement on this page, and then there's this one, which I think is the sum of all of.
Yeah, it should be the sum of all the, yeah, I know.
So this is page, oh, can I unstaple it?
Yeah, sure, I don't have a thing.
I was trying to understand what
Right.
it was.
I don't,
I think what
I don't
that
carry a
interest
staple
means
remover.
is that they didn't pay the bill.
Yeah.
Then it adds the interest, but it's confusing the way that prints.
she
Do
got
you have a
it.
staple?
You got it, okay.
I just want to put it in the,
You don't care? You know that every grandparent, every grandpa carries a knife?
and then this is
Put it in my
the, this
grandkids.
is the final page.
Yeah.
Okay,
They all carry.
okay,
Oh,
so,
there
Size
you go.
doesn't
See,
matter.
you're a grand-
so here's the, if they're past due, and then this is the amount we abated. That's the total amount of all of the abatements in this report. Here's it getting applied in Eunice, and here's us agreeing.
So can we put that on top?
Yeah, I just put it up. I will dog ear it so it doesn't come apart.
I have a question. And a true story.
Sorry, I just was
I have a
confused.
friend whose friend passed away.
Friend.
They were partners, but In either case, passed away, left the car with this person. This person says, I don't want this car, there's no value to me. Passes it off to the other person.
Some other person?
Another person, and who's had it for a year and the plate's still on the car.
It's gonna get excise tax
Yeah.
bills.
And so, but is it gonna go to the person who's passed?
It would, because
Probably,
if you
yeah.
didn't cancel it with the registry of motor
Yeah.
vehicles.
Yeah.
So somebody, they're gonna reach in the grave and take the money
They gotta send
Take
a
up
bill
their
to,
state.
yeah,
in your state, yeah.
they should
I-
transfer. the
I
money.
tried to tell them that, you get the
Yeah.
plate.
And I don't know if it would be an issue as far as insurance, because if he gets into an accident with it.
He's not driving, it's been sitting in near the yard for a year.
And if it's,
But there'll still be an excise
it's
tax.
2-year registration, it can just time out, and then if it's not renewed, it's automatically canceled.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
So if they just sit on it, but they can't register it very well without, if they get a bill of sale, they can go back and register it, and there's no reciprocity
What
back
does that
on
mean,
the other.
reciprocity in that case?
I'm
What
sorry.
do you mean by reciprocity in
Meaning that
that
the state
case?
won't come back and tally up the prior 2 years that weren't paid, and hit this new person with it, yeah?
They're gonna send it to the state,
Yeah.
Your
so they're gonna get their registry, will get
your excise goes with
excise
with your
Yeah.
plate.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know if the state exists.
So the excise goes with the plate.
Yeah.
If the plate wasn't canceled, then they won't be able to get any money back.
Right.
And if they re-register the car, it'll be a new plate. So they will get a new excise.
Okay.
Is that
Yeah,
fair?
they're gonna get a new plate, that's what I'm thinking. Just let the other one fall into the dumpster.
Anything else to sign
I think-
before we get to the abatements?
I've got all my signatures.
You got all yours?
Yeah,
and these are
Okay.
pieces.
Update on neighborhood review team proposal.
We have a tentative date to meet, which is this Friday via Zoom, 12 to 1. I know the buildings are not open here, but I'll have to make that arrangement. I have a realtor who I've been talking to and is getting back to me, and then I have a realtor that Jack just told me about on Sunday, so I'll be contacting them if the first one doesn't go through.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Because of timing.
No, that's okay.
But I will contact them both anyway,
Yeah.
of course. and-
She was
and-
very enthusiastic about being able to help.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I just, I had already,
Yeah, I didn't know, I just
Kinda
had my
gone-
list
yep.
of things to get done.
well, no, I appreciate it. It's just, people got back to me
Yeah.
after the other meeting, and I started to pursue another person. So we'll see what happens. And anyway, so that's starting
Friday.
Friday, and the first meeting is really informational and like
And you
here's
said 12 to 1.
yeah
Hopefully I'll be back from
yeah.
my
And,
appointment by then.
I do need to connect with the town via Zoom, and I'm planning to stop by here tomorrow to get to know some people to help me schedule meetings.
It's Heidi, and she's been very responsive,
Okay.
so if you need her
Yeah.
name, you should
Yeah.
have her contact information. If you can't get it, let me know.
Okay, and
Other than
And
not
that-
showing up tonight.
and that's with plenty of time to schedule and post the meeting.
Yep.
So that'll be kicking off. I have a little more homework to do for the next meetings, but this one's pretty straightforward.
Meet and greet?
Yeah, and I don't know if actually everybody can make that one because I'm still talking to the realtor.
Ah.
This is kind of, I wanted to get it going.
Yep.
So we can be done by the end of summer.
Fabulous.
Mhm.
Thank you. Brief
You're welcome.
status on the rollout of the website.
You've received the emails, my email?
I received several emails, but the one I was looking for was the one that had the pointer. We had asked for the pointer last week, if you resend the pointer
I
to
sent you
us.
30-page special.
But that does, where's the pointer? Because I got the 30-page special, I printed it off.
That's it right
Of
there.
course, it just came.
Yeah, I finished it up last night. I had
Well,
a
no,
week
no,
once I got it.
the point was, we were all gonna look at it, so I wanted to know ahead of time, so when we
I could
asked for
find if
the
there were things that it needed to be
pointer last week, it was so we could look at it this week before.
tested out.
Rather than you having to go through the whole thing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks like you went through the whole thing yourself.
oh, there was a lot there.
I know.
There really was. The amount of, number of changes that we made apparently broke a lot more than what we thought. And there were a couple of tweaks and a few spelling errors that I had generated. I mean, it was, I had a meeting scheduled up today to meet with Kara. Unfortunately, she was unable to make it. And then I called her back later on for a couple of things, we'll just get started. And that's how I knew the phones went out today. So, yeah.
So, circle the place where I can find the website that we can go look at this stuff.
Oh.
It's on one of these pages, right?
Uh,
30 pages, I didn't find it, but I wasn't,
I skimmed and I couldn't find it, but I skimmed.
I sent you guys that, you lost it. Okay.
no, well, at the last meeting, I asked for the,
I know you did, I missed that in the minutes, Mike, what I had to pick up. Okay,
can you send it to us again?
I'm gonna send it right now.
Please.
Thank you. I will commit to taking a look at it and spending some time with it, but
There was a lot.
Didn't.
I spent
Didn't
2
know
days
which one.
working on this sucker.
well, and you
Yeah.
could have sort of farmed some of that to us, but that's okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I'm sending it right now.
I don't want you spinning your wheels. I want us to all help in it, so that's
Well,
why I asked for
appreciate
the.
that, but it's just, there was so many changes, and things moved around, the columns moved around, the files got dropped. There's a few files that, why aren't they there? You know, I know you have them, but they aren't showing up. And it just took a lot to go through, and then for that matter, I even added another coding layer, because, just to help us keep track of what is going and where, and that was when I was having the conversation where you cut off, I said, can we put the code identifier into the front end of it, and that way, we always know what we're talking about, and, so, I'm waiting to talk back to her,
Okay. So,
but I'm
Okay.
gonna send that to you, you guys keep talking, I'm gonna do.
thank you. Well, we are up to postponed topics. Does anything on those postponed topics need to be addressed today?
No.
Okay. And you'll give us the form from Jim, so that'll actually address one of the postponed ones to some degree. Great. Upcoming meeting dates. So if we have 3 more, when do we have to act on them? Our next meeting isn't scheduled till, right now, July 22nd.
That should be fun. Because we have to August, right?
Probably, we probably have to August.
Grab the whole thing.
Okay.
Then July 20, we don't need to schedule a special meeting to talk about those other 3 abatements.
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure that we weren't
Yeah,
leaving things on the table.
that's good news.
Wait a second.
I just scheduled another meeting right now, so,
That's why we tried to get as many done as we could for tonight.
Yep, I appreciate that.
thank you.
So our next meetings are scheduled for July 22nd and August 19th.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any closing comments from the public? Seeing none? Any closing comments from the board?
I was just thinking that our future work should show 18, the exemption 18.
Oh, the list here didn't
Yeah.
include 18?
No,
Oh, yeah,
That's a good one.
good point.
And that does not have to,
It doesn't have to be accepted by town.
By
We can
town,
just
right.
do it.
but that's the one that incorporates any age group. So
It's,
I think it's worth looking at.
Age, infirmity, and.
Yeah.
I forget
Financial
what-
Disability?
Isn't it financial
That,
too?
that has the capacity to help some
Right,
other groups.
right.
You know, there's actually a committee over in Leominster that
Did you find it?
they,
No, it was, all I did was
they
get the web. not
help
how to
people
get in.
fill out the abatements,
Mm.
and it's actually a whole board over there that takes care of all that. And then they're sent to the assessor's office and just processed, because this board takes care of it.
Is that through the Council on Aging or
I
something
I
else?
think it is.
That's a good suggestion,
Yeah.
Mr. Rabbit, if that's one of the things you'd like to take on. I know this is of
can-
interest to you.
Yeah,
I
it is.
can
I think
check
it's got
on-
exemptions and I'm
But
interested.
So,
I can
Rena was
check
saying
with-
there's a committee in Leominster, and I think it's centered through the Council on Aging, that actually helps people
They
figure out
meet
what they
people,
might
they-
be eligible
they
for and
help
help them
them.
fill out this.
Fill out the abatements and,
Right up your alley.
Oh, I love that. I'm gonna wait till
You
Jane
like filling
hears
out
this.
people's
Yeah, I know, don't go there.
forms.
But it's like a separate.
I do. Get in trouble with that too. I don't care. Definition, Leominster,
Just wanted to know if we had like a packet.
no, but we should do one up for this fall.
Yeah.
I can do that,
Okay.
sure.
That was the only thing it was on my mind.
No, that's a good
Rena,
idea.
thank you.
That's
That
a,
was a good one.
well, it was merely an oversight as I went through down a list of them. I was like,
At least so many.
there are, we use so few. Okay, no other board comment?
No.
Okay, then I will entertain a motion to close this meeting and enter into executive session.
Let me get
Want it?
the, yeah.
You're gonna read it, Sarah, could you?
Unless you want to.
No. I'll
Okay.
pass on that. I can
I
barely see.
motion we suspend open meeting and enter into executive session, not to return to open session after exiting executive session. And the motion is to enter into executive session under purpose 7, to comply with or act under the authority of any general or special law or federal grant and aid requirements. And this executive session would be for as follows. Applications for abatement or exemption under this chapter shall accept in proceedings before the county commissioners, the appellate tax board, or a court of the Commonwealth be open only to the inspection of the assessors, the commissioner, the deputies, clerks, and assistants of either the assessors or the commissioner and such other officials or designated private auditors of the Commonwealth. Chapter 59, Section 60 of the Massachusetts General Law is the law being cited.
You hear a second?
Second.
All in favor of entering into executive session?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Not to return to open session? Thank you very much.